Greetings. This broadcast is not intended for children. There will be strong language and adult themes. And today's theme is definitely adult. Nagasaki Memorial Day. Memorializing the second atomic bomb drop on Japan.
Oh, I don't know. I think children should learn about that. No, I'm dead
Yeah,
serious.
yeah, that's true. That is something that children should learn about. You're right. We have the Lavender Lady, who's still in the hospital, and it's kind of you can say hi real quick.
Hi, kids.
There you go. All right, we're keeping you muted because all the noise in the background you hear. And we have the ever-present Jenny Morgan.
Good afternoon, everyone.
And who do we have in the side chat here? Commander 401, Greg Hartwick, Ned McGrant, Ivy Chan, the Lavender Lady, whoever that person is, Mark Caesar. All right, nice little turnout. So, shall we go over the? As I mentioned, it's today's memorializing the Nagasaki bombing, where 40,000 people died in the explosion, and then thousands others died from radiation sickness and burns and injuries. So pretty bad thing. Yeah, they were from the U.S. that's dropping the bomb to get Japan to surrender, which they did in World War II.
That must have really been a shock for the military of Japan to have something like that happen. I don't know what kind of intel they had or anything like that about the possibilities of such a weapon, but to all of a sudden see one bomb take out an entire city, gone. It must have been just unbelievably shocking
Oh
to
yeah.
anybody.
Well, shocked the world. I mean,
Yeah, they still question whether that was absolutely necessary or not. I mean,
It
there are.
was.
Say again?
It was. My father was there,
Well,
and
so was mine. Well, I didn't have a father, but the guy who called himself my father, he fought in the Pacific Theater. Um, but there are enough people out there who are saying that the decision was made to drop the bomb because they were afraid of Stalin acquiring significant territory in East Asia. So they wanted the war over. So I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I wasn't there as part of the decision making or anything like that.
well, you go back to what I learned about it in a few decades ago, and the um, the nation of Japan is run by their emperor in those days, which is of course the person who is next to God,
Yeah,
and they were all ready and committed to fight until the last Japanese person was alive,
yeah. Those
and they
people were
and they
crazy.
demonstrated. And they demonstrated that many times on different islands in the South Pacific as Marines pulled through and had to fight viciously for such a long time. Even citizens were committing suicide and things like that instead of being captured and stuff. It was the Japanese were very, very determined, and had we gone in there, it just would have been a bloody mess of bodies, both Japanese and American, and it just wasn't necessary. I don't know if they needed to do two bombs. That's my complaint about it. Is don't you think one was enough? um,
Yeah,
well,
Mark has a great point. did the use of the bomb bring a quicker end to the war, thus saving more lives than it took?
Yeah, I mean the
I
first
don't know the numbers.
the first one killed 80,000 people in the explosion and thousands more with all the fallout, and then the one we're talking about today is killed 40,000 with more thousands more with the fallout. So it was quite a large number of people who died.
Yeah, taking body count into the whole thing definitely. I mean, if you're going to compare numbers for numbers and that sort of thing, yeah, that's definitely a thing to think about. And why did we take that many lives, and would have hand-to-hand combat done that much? And
And I know of one story at least.
the death toll would have been by the thousands if they had to go in, but how many thousands is the question, I guess.
Yeah, the combined estimate I'm looking at, it says it was 135,000 people who died between the two bombs.
And I know of at least one story of one poor bastard who survived both bombs.
Oh, no shit. I haven't heard about that.
He was in Hiroshima when it was bombed, and then traveled to Nagasaki, and it got bombed.
They're after me.
Oh yeah,
I shouldn't be laughing.
the internment on within our own borders, that was horrible, awful. That's for certain. But hey, it's not so bad. They're planning that now for the Republicans to put all the trans people in those kind of camps when they take power.
And yeah, there you go.
Some
We
lessons
seem to
we
be on
haven't learned.
everybody's love list.
Yeah.
And obvious, in the state the obvious, Purple is still not back from getting the car repairs done, so I'm still not Purple. Though
Yeah, I was wondering how that was going because I hadn't
yeah,
heard anything from.
though I might be starting to take on a slight blue violet shade. I might want to have that looked at.
Hello, Ivy. I was watching a documentary on public television, one that I hadn't seen yet about the bomb, and they said that people, and I thought this too when I was taught about the original lessons as a kid, that they'd find black spots in the shape of people and say that, oh, that's carbon, that's all that's left of that person who was sitting or standing in that location. And you know what they said? They said, no, that's not correct. What they've discovered or figured out is that when the bomb goes off, the surface outside of the shadow of that person was just vaporized clean.
Yeah, it was
and their outline is the stuff that didn't get cleaned by the intensity of the blast.
Yeah, it basically bleached everything around it. So
yeah. Which is, just makes it all the more horrible.
Yeah, I mean, still, next to the remains of the person.
And to think we had a monkey pretending to be president who had all our plans for those kinds of things in his hands in the bathroom at Mar-a-Lago. It's amazing.
Basically, only their shadows were left, effectively.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some of the pictures, and I'll tell you, they were really, really creepy. One I remember was of a group of people painting a house, and their shadows were all along one of the walls.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I've seen images of that too. It's really haunting to see.
Mm-hmm.
I really fear being hurt by burns, and for me to have watched all this, all the medical care that these people were receiving, that you knew they were going to die anyways, but the burns were just so awful on their bodies, and their clothing melting into their skin and things. It was just hard, very hard to take. I hope that humanity learned the lesson? I tend to think we didn't, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Certain-
It's the other thing I don't know, because there are people who would go ahead and push the button very happily.
It's looking like we didn't learn their lesson, but considering the way things have been going recently.
Yeah. I mean, the country was headed up by one such person. I'm pretty sure that had he had the actual codes, I think the codes were denied him because people were afraid that he was going to use them.
who, Trump?
Yeah.
I wouldn't think that's
remember
something
one
that
of the
they would let
generals
out,
saying
actually.
something.
Yeah, the football is always nearby. And that alone is a scary fucking thought. To just know that we have these incredible weapons, and at any time, 24/7, the button to push is just at your arm's length. Which is paraphrasing, but that you can unleash the end of the world at midnight or 2 a.m. when you get up to go pee. It's because nothing's going to be left after.
Oh man, it's just crazy. It does scare me. I mean, not for all the people who will die in World War III, the people who survive, I'm afraid for. There won't be very many of them, but those few who do are going to have one hell of a protracted end.
Yeah. Well, if we end up bombing each other with all the nuclear fallout, we won't have to worry about the planet overheating anymore.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I am here. I am in my '60s mode here. I'm reminded of the song "Wooden Ships," which describes the aftermath of the last war. I think one of the people from Jefferson Airplane wrote it, but I know CSNY covered it and did a much better job.
Oh, I see. I never thought Jefferson Airplane was very good. So that's not a surprise at all.
God, I'm ready to throw some of this hardware across the room. The pump that's putting the antibiotic into me keeps setting off an alarm every minute or so. I have to reset it time and time and time and time again.
So you don't even get to sit there and sleep through the whole thing, huh?
Mm.
It's worse than nihilism that they have that mentality. I mean,
Yeah, Carol.
A lot.
they think,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, they think that's their second coming where the whole world gets fixed by God.
Yeah, and some of them have gone so far as to say, yeah, we're never going to destroy ourselves because God won't allow it, and they'll usher in.
Finished up, right?
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
Thanks.
Anything you
Can
want
I
to
have
hold
my
on to?
fork?
Sorry, absolutely.
Thank you.
How was everything okay?
Oh, nice, wonderful. God, I love the steak. I really do.
Yeah, there you go. You had the steak. It was good, right?
Yes, I don't get steak very often.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
They cook it fresh too. All right, Solon, take it easy.
Any way I can get it. You too. Oh man, I was so surprised when I saw the last couple of lunches were offering steak.
Nice.
What scares me very much of our current political atmosphere, environment, whatever you want to call it, is that we've got these Southern Baptist Convention evangelicals who want to see Armageddon,
Yeah.
so that they will do the rapture, and they're willing to cause it to achieve that. It's pure insanity that they're willing to destroy the entire planet for their fantasy book. It's just frightening as hell. But the other thing is that most of the Republicans who are in power don't want the world to end. They want to control the whole world. So there's at some point going to be a conflict between those two groups, I'm sure. But if either of them were to win, it's going to be tragedy for the nation.
What the heck was that?
Oh, that was an announcement over the PA system in here. I guess they're calling somebody to one area. Tower 52-8 is one of the areas around here.
Is your airplane
in the building?
Is your airplane landing?
Yeah, pretty much. But this is so much nicer than that hellhole I was in the last time. That at St. Catherine Hospital. Oh God, that's horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, they actually go so far as to mistreat you. Well, not only will Jesus return to a country he's never been to, yeah, he'll return to a country that didn't exist at the time.
Well, that depends. Are you talking about the Mormons?
Yeah. Oh my. Well, just like the Bible was written in English. I mean, if it was good enough for Jesus, it's good enough for whatever guy said that.
Yeah, Ox, you're right. The Earth isn't in trouble. We are, because if we're gone, the Earth will say, "Ah, great, got rid of that infection," and it'll heal itself.
Assuming we don't turn the place into Venus.
Well, true. Of course, the moment that we're all gone, the Earth starts to get better.
Yeah. Hey, even during the pandemic, we saw actually a slight improvement.
Mm-hmm.
Just from.
Well, I'm of the opinion that there are some changes that are once made essentially irreversible. And the dawn of life may be one of them. So if you extinguish all life, you may never get it back.
A nuclear holocaust, I don't think would end all life on Earth. I think it would take out a very, very huge chunk of it, but there's always going to be pockets of survivors.
Yeah.
Whether it's bacteria or paramecium or whatever else, something's going to survive.
Yeah, that's probably it. I mean, hey, we even see some of these high radiation places still have lots of life running around.
Yeah, the sound level in here is up significantly from the last. Not again.
Just unplug it.
That alarm goes off every couple, sometimes even
seconds.
every few seconds.
Yeah, just unplug it. That'll take care of it.
Damn it.
Well, call the nurse and let them know that they're interfering with an international broadcast.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Hang on, I'm gonna mute over here.
Carol, no one will care because we'll all be gone. The animals will probably have one big party for a month. The whole Armageddon thing, I don't believe in the Armageddon as created and situated with the Bible and all that stuff. But I think of the potential for us killing ourselves with pollution or with nuclear weapons. And I'm so scared for my grandnieces. They're, oh gosh, how old is Lily now?
Yeah, it's the grandkids that are running around, and the great grandkids are going to be really getting hit hard by this. Don't forget Twinkies. I guess that's what Keith Richards will be living off of after everything's gone.
There we go. I think it was going off all the time because it finally emptied the bag of antibiotic.
Yeah. So you could turn it off.
Yeah, I turned it off. So that'll. But it's really noisy around here today compared to the other days I was here. Must be having a party.
I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen the Mr. Bean stuff.
Yeah, I never got to see it very often myself.
Yeah, I only caught it infrequently.
Hmm.
You're sounding more alert and together than you've seen than Mark's seen you in a while.
Say again? Oh my.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
No,
Oh,
I
good.
cannot hear you asking if I can hear you.
Oh, okay, that's all right then. I had a phone call arranging for a ride for a doctor appointment and stuff, so I had to take it.
Thought you went quiet there.
Did you notice that that StreamYard's changed something again?
What'd that change?
Well, it used to be that when you would put the link up and we'd click on the link, it would take us right through to the part where you say enter studio, and now it now throws a screen up that says if you're trying to get in, you have to copy this. You have to launch Safari. You have to copy this link. You have to enter it into Safari, and then it'll get you here. And it used to be all automatic, and now they've made it harder. What?
Really?
Oh,
Yeah, what?
that two-factor garbage or whatever the hell that is, right?
No, there wasn't any password of it or anything. It was just they just put manual what was usually taken care of automatically.
Okay.
It's just very strange.
I didn't notice that.
Well, I don't know. I guess that's not Elon's idea because I still get the impression he's trying to burn it all down.
No, I think he legitimately wants a place for the right wingers to curse and hate people.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's making it the area where we used to comfortably congregate. Oh, by the way, Mage, I finally got started on what's that other thing called? Blue Sky.
Yeah, I saw.
So I'll have to go and look at it and see if anybody stumbled across me or whatever, and then I'll have to figure out how to link everybody to me.
Well, I think I already just noticed I missed the link.
What's your name on Blue Sky? I think I already followed you.
I'm the Lavender Lady.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I followed you already.
Okay.
But I'll double check.
I just noticed I missed a place something.
So I'll actually start checking that. I don't know. I may end up just migrating.
Yeah, it needs to get their DM groups set up and running, and then
Hmm.
if they can get that kind of system like what they have in Twitter, and should be good to
Yeah,
go to leave
I don't
Twitter.
think there'd be any hesitation. People would jump ship almost immediately, I think, once they have DMs. Because that's the one thing I hear everybody saying is we need to have DMs. And be able to make the group chats like what we have.
Yeah, that's the only thing the major thing they're missing, as far as I can tell.
Hmm.
So why would you want a dungeon master though?
Well, somebody's got to beat the children.
Well, how about those religious professors or whatever it was? There was a news article this morning about another one who got arrested for what is it, molesting some unknown number of kids or something over the last 17 years.
You need to be more specific.
There's so many.
Yeah, I know. Oh God.
Isn't that just a horrible statement though
Yeah.
to make? Is that, oh yeah, well there's so many we can't tell which one is which.
Yeah.
It's and they still, the right wing still wants to try to tell everybody that it's trans people and drag queens that are the assaulters. You know, it's like, come on, you guys, read the room, read the paper, read something.
Oh, I had one right winger say, "Oh yeah, but it's mostly the boys getting molested by these pastors, so it's actually the gays doing it. So you're invalid to say that." Oh, jeez.
But they do have a point when they complain that gay folks don't procreate. They have a point in the sense that they don't gays don't provide them any targets.
Yeah. Well, but then again, you know, gays tend to adopt. Lots of gay folks like to have a family and they're willing to adopt for that, and that just helps to absorb the extra numbers of from the 12-year-olds having babies that they can't abort.
Oh, yeah.
Assuming they're not married already.
In fact, there's actually been some speculation and
Well,
a certain number of people not having kids within a society, like in like Stone Age kind of area times, and that actually was beneficial for our species because they would you have those extra like those extra hands to take care of the kids.
mhm.
Mm-hmm. Well, replacement level is 2.3 per couple.
Yeah, what did they call it? I think the gay uncle theory or something. Yeah,
Yeah, something like that.
but
You mean everybody's gonna have a gay marriage, or just gay people must have a marriage? You're confusing me, Ivy.
Well, no matter how it
Isn't
goes,
Ivy adorable? She's so cute.
I've done it de facto twice. I mean, once it was official, the other time it was unofficial. That's enough for me. No more. No more getting married. And besides, who would want me? I mean, I'm old, I'm broken, I'm poor.
Well, apparently we want you, so we keep dragging you around, keeping your ass alive. So
Yeah, we dropped
don't
the
know,
entry fee.
man.
We dropped the entry fee for you. Come on, what else do you want?
I question your taste.
Me too.
Oh man.
I was on TikTok last night on a couple of different live verbal assault teams, and it was quite interesting. If you've never done TikTok, they have you can, once you've achieved a number of follows, they allow you to have a live stream if you want, and then you can let other people who have over 1,000 followers on, and to talk about whatever you decide to talk about.
Oh, the sort of thing that we're doing.
Yeah, essentially,
and
yes.
Most of us, I think. Does anybody the panel currently have 1,000? I don't.
For what, on TikTok?
No, on Twitter.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, because I have maybe just over 600.
In fact, I'm actually surprised because my account got canceled, and I had to start a new account. It took me like 5 years to get over 1,000 last time, and now it's only taken about 3 months.
I really couldn't care less as how many people follow me.
Yeah, neither do I really. I mean, well, in a sense, I do, because I am deluded enough to think that I have a message, but in the end, it really doesn't matter.
I agree. I don't really care at all. I only care on TikTok because it's the magic key to open up, what you can do with the software.
Oh, Ivy Chan has 11.3 and a half.
Now, I wonder how that works. Are they cut vertical or horizontal?
Yeah,
so that way,
I'm not
so
sure.
that way that whoever you pick is half-assed.
Well, that's me at restaurants when I rarely go to one with a group. They might look and they say, maybe 4 of us or something. Okay, 4, and I'll pipe up. No, 3.5. I'm not all there.
Well, maybe,
I'm right.
maybe one of them has a parasitic twin.
Okay. Oh God.
One of my most favorite outings I ever had. I'm not going to, describe it completely, but it was out with about 6 other card people that I know, and we were in La Crosse, and we all went to this little restaurant there called Margie's. That is this place that stays open from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. and focuses on breakfast. But my God, the breakfasts! They have a dish called what is it? The chef's name, Arnold or whatever it is junk or something like that, and it's everything they offer. it's eggs, it's ham, it's bacon, it's sausage. So any other add-ins that you would put on eggs or breakfast, it's in this. And then the thing comes back on like a 8-inch, 9-inch plate. It comes mounded about 3 inches high. Okay, I mean, it's just huge amount of food. I've never met anybody who could finish it.
Makes me almost want to move there, but I couldn't eat it anymore.
I order it with the intent to, eat about 1/3 and have the other 2/3 to take home for a week.
There you go. I mean, there was a time when I could have eaten all that, but not anymore.
I'm starting to do this thing of stocking up most of my meals for the entire month in one shopping spree.
Okay.
Seems to be working out pretty well doing it that way.
I have to shop 2 or 3 times a week because I cannot carry a week's worth of groceries. I just can't
anymore. I've been eating a lot of cold cuts because anything else I get that it's available in quantities too large for me to eat before it goes bad.
But they don't offer like a DoorDash in your area, Jenny?
DoorDash. I'm 30 miles away from anything that would sell food.
Oh.
I've used DoorDash a couple times. Hi.
I just need to check your vitals.
Oh yeah, sure. Let me sit up. Oh God.
She's not vital at all. Don't bother.
Just if you don't mind, give me my vitals back after you take them.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Definitely. Definitely.
Oh my, oh my, oh my.
Actually, I'm not taking them. I'm just checking.
Okay.
They're gonna stay right where they are.
Oh my.
Well, Diane, I'll check mine right away here too, so we can check our vittles together.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here.
97. Holy hell.
What's your blood pressure?
188/77.
Oh, it's not as high as I thought it was going. 188/77.
Wow.
That's pretty much normal.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I'll take that then.
That's probably why my kidneys failed in the first place, is because of chronic high blood pressure. Oh well. Be good. Oh my, yeah.
You want us to come back in 15 minutes?
Chronic hypertension for this person over here.
I'm 106/61.
Oh,
Then
jeez, man.
and then you had the diet that was intended to kill your kidneys.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm amazed that I'm amazed that my liver's alive.
Hmm.
I mean, when I start hurting with the neck, I'm eating Tylenol like candy because that's all I can get. And they tell me I'm killing my liver, and they're right. And it doesn't take away that much pain anyway. But over here, I got really lucky. And today and yesterday, they actually gave me tramadol.
Oh,
And this stuff
see.
works.
Great.
Yeah. So that's a nice thing.
Yes, coffee. It
Oh,
is coffee
man,
o'clock.
That's the problem. The kitchen here can't make coffee to save anyone's lives.
Yeah, I've never heard of a good hospital coffee.
They must make a gigantic barrel of coffee first thing in the morning and then keep reheating it. Because by noon, it's like crankcase oil. Oh, my.
Yeah, we're gonna unhook that. We're gonna put you on the portable tank here.
All sorts of fun.
Yeah, sounds like it.
But I'll tell you, this is much better than St. Catherine's.
Oh, that
With
nurse seemed a lot nice, pretty nice. So.
Mm-hmm.
Is she cute?
Kind of, yeah.
Oh, then I'll come out and visit.
There are a couple real cuties here. I mean, I have to remind myself, it's like, okay, Clarion, you may be old, but you're not dead. Oh, man. And
you can get all hot and bothered if you want. You just can't do anything about it.
Yeah. I mean, the way I look right now, what self-respecting lesbian would want me in the first place? But
golly, I can't find my batteries. I just had them here yesterday. Or did I?
What, did we remind you of something? Or
No, I tried to put my pulse ox on and the battery's dead, so I couldn't
my
check that. I'm supposed they really actually want me to check it every day.
Okay. I don't know what reminded me of this. I was thinking of it a little earlier. It's very upsetting here. I'm disoriented here. Because I'm sitting here in this hospital bay, and I find myself thinking I'm still in Pittsburgh.
Huh. That is disorienting, I guess. I
And
guess it.
maybe it's because I want that so much.
eh,
Because I have
Right,
to remind myself that no, I'm in New York now.
your brain hasn't made the transition yet, huh?
Yeah, and
It's the
it's
same time zone, isn't it? Yeah.
same time zone, just opposite ends. Well, not really. Pittsburgh's in the middle of the Eastern time zone because Indiana is on the western edge of the Eastern time zone.
The first time I ever went east, I went to Boston, and I everything just felt so weird because of that hour difference between Central and East Coast.
Okay.
Wait a minute, your news doesn't come on till 11? What?
Uh huh.
How can you wait that long?
But yeah, I'm that much closer. I may have to figure out a way to get out to Boston. I haven't been there in years. I think the last time I was in Boston was 77.
Well, that's a long time.
Yes.
I was there in 2000 and 2002. My
Okay.
first ride on a jet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was pretty old for my first time.
Yeah, my first time on a jet was to Chicago in, I think, 1980. Okay. I think about this often, Mark. For those who are not necessarily reading, Mark asked Diana, pros and cons, would you rather be there, which I guess means Pittsburgh, or where you are now, which I guess is New York? Um, it's a tough call.
well, from
My heart is in Pittsburgh, believe it or not. I bitch about the place and I bitch about a lot of the Yinzers, but it's home. I was born in Cleveland, but Pittsburgh is home.
well,
Um, and I long to go to PNC Park and see a ball game, even though baseball, as I remember it, doesn't exist anymore. With all the rule changes, it's like football now.
No, it's not.
Well, the way they organize the leagues and everything is.
Well, but that only makes sense if you're going to have a trophy war. It's only fair to give everybody a chance. And when you got an odd number of teams, you have to have a wild card to keep it even.
I'm taking 3 left.
Well, I mean, with all the
Mathematical.
interleague play and everything else, what's the point of leagues?
Yeah, I always wondered what's the purpose of that, but it does count in your win-loss column.
I left my heart in Yinzer Town.
Tony,
actually, it's not. It's actually not that bad of an idea. Might help you deal with the transition.
Maybe. Would be great if I could still be near a piano. I haven't played in years and years and years and years and years.
well, you're out in his neighborhood. Why don't you give Billy Joel a call and have him bring a piano with?
There you go. Yeah, why not?
You've got your computer there. Why don't you get yourself an inexpensive or used keyboard?
I intend to. As soon as I clear out enough space and have enough money, I intend to buy a keyboard. It'll have to be an 88 key keyboard because there's some stuff that has too many notes for the cheaper keyboards.
You just said one of my most favorite movie lines.
Yeah.
Too many notes.
from Amadeus. Yeah.
I think that about jazz sometimes.
I don't know. I think it needs more cowbell.
There
Yeah.
you go. There
God,
you
that
go.
was such a funny classic skit. Saturday Night
cowbell?
Live is just amazing. I don't think any show has had that much of an influence on cultural idioms and stature and memories than SNL has.
Uh-huh.
It's true. Well, they
I mean,
do. Yeah, they do everything. So
yeah. Well, kids that weren't even born in '75 know some of the early stuff, idioms and skits and stuff.
It amazes me that it's been around that long.
Yeah, isn't it?
But I was just out of high school when that started.
as a kid, I used to watch Nick at Night, and they would play reruns of it. Of some of the
Okay.
old
Really?
stuff. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I graduated high school in '74.
My favorite SNL, I don't remember who was hosting. I used to remember, but it it was playing in the background while I was having sex with this wonderful woman, and right at the end of the show, which is about the same time we were pretty much finished, the whoever was the host came on and said, have a good night, and I hope if you didn't get to see the show, you had great sex.
Nice.
It was wonderful.
Oh man, that kind of reminds me of something similar. I mean, well, this was on 8mm film, but you remember those stag films you could get, right? So we would show those on the wall at one of the frat houses when I was in college the first time. And we would play albums in the background. One of them happened to be Roxy and Elsewhere by Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a couple dozen people actually, doing it hot and heavy on the film, with Frank Zappa saying, and I'll bet some of you are sitting there saying, I could be doing that. Corpus, hello.
Is Parp in here?
Looks
Hi,
like,
Parp.
Okay, that's better.
looks like Porpoise is frozen.
Yeah, looks like your camera's frozen.
What the fuck?
Yeah, let's see if
There
that
it
works.
goes.
There we go. Now you're with us. Hello, hello, hello.
Turn
Hello.
the IT thing. Turn it off and back on again.
It works. I mean, it doesn't really work on Linux systems as much as it works on Windows systems, but
Oh my.
Yeah,
But I'm still here in hospital. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to be going back to
home.
the house.
Going back home.
I'm gonna be here for hours.
you usually don't put up with this long, Athena.
No.
Oh
Being
man!
tolerant today.
When I first got here, when was
Oh, Athena,
that?
you can go.
Saturday. There was somebody in the bay next to mine who really didn't want to be there. And that just listening to the exchange between that person and the security staff was amazing.
Ooh, wow, looks like we've got some rain headed our way.
Yeah, I had a little bit of rain this morning.
Oh, okay, that's the water from heaven.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't been near a window in a while, so I haven't seen what it's doing here.
Oh, I was looking at the Weather Channel website.
Okay. I still don't have all my apps like that reconfigured. So I end up with information from back home. Yeah, I still call Pittsburgh home. And I think it always will be. I'd like to go back one day.
I think your relationship with Pittsburgh was an abusive one.
Say again?
I think your relationship with Pittsburgh was an abusive one.
I don't know. Maybe you're right. I guess my memory is somewhat selective. Because what stands out mostly in my mind are neighborhoods like Squirrel Hill and Shady Side, and the slightly higher rent districts, rather than like say Hill Street and all that stuff. The Hill, which according to legend, Hill Street Blues was based on that neighborhood, the slums of Pittsburgh.
Interesting. There's actually it's a bike trail now, but back in the day there was a train tracks in this area, and the train station in here was the one that was used to model the one in Dumbo.
Ah, okay.
There is a question about your cat.
Oh, what, in a side chat?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. How's your cat going where I am? Actually, Sylvia has settled in better than I have. She's right at home. Well, wherever there's food. She's a good kitty. Wait a minute. I don't want...
Well, good old...
pull the plugs here. Here we go.
Good old StreamYards. Making improvements and keeping their reputation intact. I was gone because I touched the wrong part of the screen unknowingly, and it vaporized everything. I had to do a cold restart.
This sounds like a mobile issue they're having.
Oh yeah, it always is.
Yeah, we need to get you a laptop or something.
Yeah, I've been saying that too.
Oh man, I want to organize the area on the area where I'm staying now, and get things organized where I can set up and finally have a decent studio and the whole bit.
The problem, Porp, is if I get a laptop, I don't have Wi-Fi. I'm on phone data.
Ooh.
That's not too much of an issue if you know how to do it.
Well, I don't know how to do it, so it's a big issue then.
Oh, have you seen commercials from a place called Home Glow? So, book your first cleaning for only $19.
No.
And it turns out what they're not telling you on the television ads, it's $19 per hour with a minimum of 2 hours booking.
Oh, that's nice.
All sorts of caveats and what's the other word? Conditions and all this other stuff.
Oh, speaking of the topic, there's actually a Hiroshima Memorial not too far from here.
No, you didn't ruin the subject. We often don't stay on topic for very long.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the average is like 3 minutes, 4 minutes. The fact we went as long as we did is kind of surprising. We did one, didn't we? That ran like an hour.
Yeah, we've managed to get a few that just managed to stay on over an hour.
Amazing.
Usually, when we're talking, when potatoes seem to be involved in some capacity.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was potatoes.
Wait a minute. Looks like I'm frozen.
No, you're good.
Oh, okay, because my view on what I'm looking at on the StreamYard isn't changing.
Well, see you fine here.
Okay. As long as I'm okay there.
Mark, I can use my phone as a hotspot. If I want, I can turn it into a hotspot, and I can do what I'm doing right now with the iPad, if I choose. But that's all over Bluetooth. So it goes Bluetooth to phone data, back and forth. I don't know how to integrate a laptop in there.
Oh, I see what's frozen. My YouTube view is frozen.
Okay, well, the main thing is you need to either use a hotspot and just connect to the Wi-Fi through the hotspot, or connect via Bluetooth and share the connection. But the instructions are slightly different depending whether you're using iOS or Android.
iOS.
But the main thing is we need to get you the laptop first, then we can worry about it.
Yeah, we got technical people who can help you out with that, I guess.
Not me. The technology left me behind a long time ago.
And although my Asus is a little beat up, it's getting to the point where I should probably replace it with a newer one.
It didn't leave you behind. It's got you all hooked up to it.
Well, I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna have to buy another machine because the machines I have are hopeless. One of them, I think parts are failing, and then the other one is just everything is so old it won't port over to the current day.
But didn't you just build yourself one like 2 years?
The last time I built a machine was 15, I believe.
Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't here. I don't know.
No, 18. 18 is when I built the last one. But even so, I mean, it still has USB 2, for example, and other stuff like that, where I just had a difficulty porting things over. So I'll end up just putting money away, and I'll get by with what I have now, and then finally build another one.
Ivy, aren't you being a little judgmental?
Who, me?
No, Ivy.
Oh, where did... Ned McRant says I have 5 laptops, 4 PCs, and a closet full of junk. You sound like me.
I used to have a beautiful workstation. I had
yeah, I have 3 laptops, 2 towers. None of them work very well. Oh, man.
Boy, you were 18 last time you built a computer. What was the Wi-Fi? A 2 tin cans and a string?
Mm-hmm.
When we were kids, I had a friend of mine who lived like 3 houses of west of me and across the street. And we're kids, 13, 12, 13, something like that. And we set up a tin can and string. We actually used a wire, because one of us was smart enough to know that would transmit sound better because of its density.
I remember doing that shit
And so
when I
we
was a
had this
kid.
like 1,000 feet of wire,
Mhm.
and it worked. You know, went up to his second floor bedroom and down to my first floor bedroom. And it was pretty funny.
Yeah, I
It
remember
lasted
doing
about
that
a week and a
shit.
half of interest, and then we gave up.
Well, I remember building a one tube radio. One tube radio.
Yeah, for the amp.
Oh wow! But
I
it
have
looked like
an
it looked like
original.
crap, but it worked.
I have an original Heathkit. What's the fucking
Ham radio?
called? No. The first radio. Why can't I think of this word? Because I'm
What, a
old.
crystal radio?
Yeah. An old crystal set from Heathkit. And it's in this nice little Heathkit box. And
Oh wow! Yeah, the last time I had a crystal radio was, I think, 1968.
I bought this much after I was out of school actually when I got it.
Okay.
Because to this day I'm still fascinated by crystal radio, that you can just pull these signals out of the air. And
yeah, you ran it on the signals you got from the air.
Yeah, just whatever happens to be there. It's just.
Can you even get the cat whisker diodes that those used anymore?
No, they use your basic tuning capacitor now.
Actually, I think a lot of radio is software defined now.
There are people that still sell kits. I remember looking for one a couple of years ago, just out of curiosity.
But ham radios were being replaced by computers when I was about that age, so.
Oh man! And there's the thing. I remember trying to learn Morse because I wanted an FCC license, but it was just hell for me to try to learn Morse.
You do not need to learn Morse anymore if you're going for a 2-meter license.
Oh,
okay.
I had this toy. It was actually a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle communicator, and it was a Morse code. It actually had all the old letters in Morse and showed you how to do it.
Okay, then.
It was actually pretty cool.
Deep.
Hey, I used to love Radio Shack. I remember getting like a crystal radio kit there.
Oh, I used to live there. God.
When they finally went out of business, they were like the only place in town that you could get board level components.
Yes.
Well, they tried to become a cell phone carrier, and they just should have gone back to being like a electronics hobbyist shop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then you're on everybody's watch list. The FBI's knocking on your door because they think you're broadcasting to the Russians or the Chinese.
There's more to electronics than ham radio.
But I used to go there for board level components, and I was designing all sorts of shit.
Heathkit used to make
some of it actually worked.
Heathkit used to make this clock kit. It used an LED, a large scale LED numbering instead of Nixie tubes. It was too new for that.
Yeah.
But it was fairly expensive. I think it was like $29 back in the day, which was a good chunk of money back then.
Oh, yeah.
But they were very nice, very stylish. And I bought probably a dozen of those and built them for gifts and things.
All right, let me just clear things up for people who aren't aware of this. Radio Shack is where you used to go to buy STEM kits. Now you have to go to Hobby Lobby, Michael's, or stores like that.
What's a STEM kit?
They're just like less science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, just little projects kids can do.
Kid kits. There's a lot of neat things, kid kits that you can buy online now. Anything from, things that focus on, engineering type principles, and some that focus on electronics principles. And I've thought of buying some of those for myself just because I get bored.
It's amazing the stuff that you could get at the toy stores and hobby stores. And I remember one Christmas I received a package with parts that you could put on a breadboard and build all sorts of projects. And these things were marketed to be used by, like 10 and 11-year-olds. What 10 and 11-year-old would even want to do that stuff now?
Oh, this is the
Funny.
toy I had. The
Say
one on
again?
the one on the left here is what I had. So
What the
that
fuck is that?
it's a turtle communicator, and if you
Oh,
notice this little white thing in here, that's all Morse code, and you can actually tap out Morse code on it.
I had a G.I. Joe walkie-talkie. This doesn't surprise me.
Okay, then.
we had this is before I had any capability of building this stuff, but my uncle built them for my dad because he didn't know how to do any of that shit either. Allied Knight, have you ever heard of them?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you're
And
an
you
old
used to
fart.
buy
You would
that stuff at the
know
Radio
about that.
Shack stores.
Allied Knight was this vendor that had lots of different kits, color TVs, full blown stereos. They also made these little walkie talkies that you could get, and my uncle built them for my dad. We got them for Christmas. It was pretty cool.
Oh, man, you're bringing back some memories.
In fact, now that I recall, Uncle Harold built a stereo receiver for my mom and dad, and they used that thing for from like 63 to at least 72, 73.
Well, talking about building stuff like that, do you remember Lafayette Radio and Electronics?
No, never had them around
Oh,
my place.
I found out about them through my cousin who operated a bootleg radio station from stuff he built from this place. It was based in Syosset here on Long Island. They mostly marketed kits. And you could get a kit for anything basically out here. They even marketed kit computers for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tandy, I think, had a computer kit you could buy.
But Radio Shack drove Lafayette out of business, and then Radio Shack ended up dying.
Well, they were around for a long time. We first got them into our neck of the woods in 68, 69. And geez, they lasted till early 70s, didn't they?
Okay.
Oh, I mean early 90s.
Yeah, I mean, 68 to the early 70s isn't that long a
Yeah,
stretch.
no, it's not.
Oh, my. I'm watching a cooking show right now that has a studio supermarket. The shelves are full. How much money are they spending just to make the shelves look good?
Those are prop empty boxes. You can buy them.
Listen, the things you used to do as a kid, today adults are doing in Minecraft, making logic gates and building computers in Minecraft to run Minecraft.
Really?
Oh yeah, someone did that.
That's pretty interesting. Somebody had a kid kit again, and it used gears and pivots and things like that to be able to. No, what was it exactly? I think it was a basic binary computer system. Very small, but it was able. You were able to learn about binary electronics using gears and stuff, which was pretty fascinating. I wanted to get that just to see how that works.
Yeah, Ned, Realistic was indeed a Radio Shack brand.
Yeah. My mom dated a guy who had a police scanner, and we were listening into it once, and somebody reported in the object in the sky. It turned out to be the moon.
Okay.
Now,
Oh,
you can still get
God.
police scanners, but you can just get an app on your cell phone to listen to local police traffic if you really want to.
Now it's all digital. You got to get some pretty fancy stuff to hear the cops.
Or a cell phone. Unless they finally crack down on those apps.
Talk about scanners and stuff. I actually used to have a CB radio, and I was amazed to recently find out that people still use them.
Oh yeah, it's hobbyists use them a lot. There's people that like to use them for their plane spotting, a hobby that they have, and people use them at racetracks because all the safety team communications is on that frequency, those frequencies.
Oh, okay. That sounded like a dot matrix printer, but that could be serious.
Wait a minute. Where's
beeping.
that noise coming from? Is it my bay or the other guy's bay?
Athena, can I help you?
I think it's the other guy's bay, so I don't have much control over it.
Call the nurse.
Oh, Lord, let me look around, see what's going on.
Just call the nurse. Oh, well, it either stopped or he died.
No, she muted herself.
Oh.
I don't think we're going to get too much ship traffic where I'm at.
Well, you're Terre Haute. You're not too far from the Great Lakes. Michigan, anyway.
It's farther than you might think. We're closer to a naval base, but it's not where you would think it is. And it was built deliberately that far inland.
Well, they were afraid of sailors drowning, or?
No, they wanted to test their artillery in a place that was relatively safe from foreign attack. So they found a place as far inland as they could. And thus the Crane Surface Warfare Naval Station was born.
Speaking now that we've mentioned the government, it makes me think of some politics. And yesterday was a election day for some places. And did you all hear what Ohio went and did?
Yeah, Ohio. I knew that a couple years ago. It's like the Republicans are like, "Oh, opponents won't have time to gear up." It's like people don't want this policy. It should be obvious by now.
When a race is that dramatic and is that pivotal in what it can do, you have to be worried about it. No matter what you think that the numbers may show, you have to treat it like you're the underdog and everything. You just can't afford to lose.
The Republicans were scheduling it in August to lower turnout.
Yeah. Did you see what the Republicans did at their final thing, the way to fuck up the election? On the day or 2 days before the actual election, they took two of the main voting areas that were primarily Democratic and moved their voting location without telling anyone. I mean, the information was out there, but they didn't purposely make an announcement. Hey, an important change happened. Pay attention. They just said nothing publicly about it.
No, wait a minute. What did they do this time? I missed that one.
They changed voting locations. Instead of going to this school now you're going to the school on the other end of the district.
Oh, fun!
Just because their whole intent was to get as few Democrats to vote as possible, and because they knew they would lose, and now they've been spanked big time.
The only way they can win anything is by nefarious means.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So the good guys should be able to, they're in Ohio. They can change your constitution by a simple majority of a statewide vote, and they've been wanting to take a handle on the abortion issue and codify the right to abortion in their constitution. And the Republicans, of course, don't want that. And so that's why they called this election, because they wanted to change that law and change it from 50% to 60% to pass anything, which, is near a supermajority. And it's damn hard to do that in a public election.
Yeah.
And they knew that, and they did it purposely. And this election that happened was to either approve or disapprove that 50% deal, or change to 60%. And people said, no, we've had it with you fuckers.
I don't know. There are times when I wonder whether or not it is becoming necessary to consider doing things you can't talk about without being arrested.
Example?
Say again?
Example, please? Which just means I don't understand.
Well, give any
I
example
did,
could
but-
get you arrested.
I'm just going to say no.
Because I'm wondering if an insurrection by the good guys is not becoming necessary.
Well,
if there are any good guys, I'm not sure there are any good
there
guys.
certainly are. Cut it out.
I'm not sure either.
Yeah, well, you're too negative, Nellies.
Hey, Skits.
Hey, Skits. Oh, so
Skitsy's here? Hey, Skitsy.
that long-handed sickle you sent, and me, I've been putting it to quite a bit of use this past week. I actually had to get a sharpener for it.
Did you get a hammer too? You communist.
In fact, I do have a hammer. It's an anvil hammer. I actually need to sharpen up my scythe. It's I got it dinged up. I just haven't had a chance to do that. I need to mount the jig though, on something.
Oh my! I don't know. Let's see if I can do this stuff over here. Oh God! Because for some reason, this latest hydromorphone tablet is not working as well as the one yesterday did. Oh well. I'll deal with it. Oh, wait a minute. Where is all this? Oh my. Well, that killed the conversation, didn't it?
I'm a little preoccupied in making a bandage for myself.
Where are you again, Ivy?
Some creepy European place.
Okay, I couldn't remember if it was there or Oceana.
Ivy lives in the Netherlands.
Ah!
Oceania has always been at war with East Asia.
Yeah. Oh my, I've got to. Well, if I can ever sort my books out and everything else, I gotta pull down that stuff and reread it. Why can't I remember his name?
George Orwell?
Say again?
George Orwell?
Yeah, Orwell. That's the. Well, hell, I can't remember my own name. I have to look at my passport.
The only problem with the Netherlands for me is I can't handle snow.
Yeah, snow's fine. Try freezing rain. 2 inches overnight.
Ew.
Diana knows what that's like.
Oh, yeah.
We had this wonderful freezing rain when I was a kid. It happened it started just before sunset, around 4:30, 5 o'clock. And it was fairly intense. It laid down a quarter to a half inch of ice over the entire freaking county. And we were just kids, and we thought it was just great because we realized that we could put on our skates and go skating on the streets. And we did. It was just really cool.
I remember my street flooded, and I actually had a little blow up raft. I was paddling around in the street.
Okay, then. There we go. Oh, no, there it is. My YouTube page, watch page is finally working again.
Also, I think I'm up to have gone through 5 tornado watches and 2 warnings this year. And that derecho. But a lot of people got hit by that derecho because derechos tend to be big.
That one that you're talking about went from Iowa all the way through your neck of the woods and all the way out to the Carolinas. It was a biggie.
I mean, they move fairly quickly, at least. But...
It was just really sad what it did to Iowa. I imagine it did this other places too, but it just absolutely flattened the crops.
Oh, my word. It's some of the worst territory to drive. I mean, it's so boring you could easily fall asleep.
Yeah, I feel that way about a lot of Indiana.
Yeah. Yeah, my drive from Cleveland to St. Louis went through most of that area, and it was at night, and that was really horrible. I had to work to keep myself awake, but we had to get to St. Louis by morning, so there was no way to stop on the side of the road and fall asleep for a while.
I ran into a late night driving like that, and I could not stay awake, and I finally ended up calling a friend of mine who I knew worked third shift and was home that night, and so he could just talk to me while I'm driving to keep me awake.
Okay.
Cell phones, yay, cell phones.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about cell phones. You need to regulate the data collection for one.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
And 2, there needs to be some European law where you have a right to just not answer your phone from your boss after 5 p.m. Or controls where the phone automatically blocks calls or rejects calls from certain numbers in certain time frames.
Just don't answer it.
Well, that is one thing I like about my current Android is that it will display the number. It's not always accurate because you can spoof numbers, but if I don't recognize the number, I don't answer the phone. Now, that could be a problem in case a kidney calls me, from a number I don't recognize. But at least I'm not picking up the phone and answering creditors.
Yeah. Or the FBI.
Yeah, that too.
And we lost Jenny again. Yeah, the FBI doesn't seem to be that interested in what I'm doing. Besides, if they want to know what I'm doing, they can just ask the NSA.
Why is this suddenly blurry?
I don't know. Looks fine on my end.
No, it's my YouTube watch page, but
Kitty, no.
Maybe your resolution is low?
it could be. Okay, I refreshed and now it's better. So I'll be happy with that. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. Yeah, I think I'm going to be leaving tomorrow.
Not an X-ray machine, a CAT scan, or
You need to get
People from radiology are here. I could tell because they're glowing.
we need to get we need to get Jenny two things: a laptop and a wired connection.
Yeah.
Oh, I love wires. I do not like Wi-Fi.
Yeah, actually, all my PC machines are hooked up by a wire directly to the router.
Okay. Yeah, because where I'm staying right now, everything is Wi-Fi, and it's horribly unreliable. I mean, I wasn't on the air on Sunday because I couldn't get on the air.
Yeah, I remember I popped in trying to get in there with you and kept popping off.
Yeah. So one way or another, I've got to get that area that I was originally supposed to work in cleared and set up, and then get my own wires. One way or another, I've got to be able to do that.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Moo.
It just went dead. I could see you guys moving around, but I couldn't hear you,
Huh.
and you didn't hear me because I asked you if you heard me. And
We weren't at
Diana,
all.
I told Diana, shoot me the bird if you can hear me, and she didn't. So
We weren't at all signing you up for a high-speed fiber internet connection.
my neighbor has Wi-Fi, and upstairs neighbor, and I'm going to ask her if I can share her Wi-Fi if I pay half her bill.
Okay.
That works.
Yeah, why
Yeah,
not?
I think that'd be a great idea.
Yeah.
If you don't need the excessive bandwidth, it's a pretty good way to do things.
The only user of the system would be their kid, and he's a jock and like never home. He's always jockeying around.
Going around, he's just jocking off, huh?
Yeah,
Wi-Fi,
exactly.
Wi-Fi doesn't travel through walls very well, so she may need to up the signal on her router. The signal strength on her router.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That is a problem I had in the previous apartment. If I went into the bedroom, I couldn't get a good connection, and there were like 3 walls between the router and the bedroom.
Who's your mobile provider, Jenny?
AT&T.
They have a decent internet option available if you want that.
No,
If you want to stick with Wi-Fi, but
no, I'm on a data plan or a family plan with my phone, and my sister-in-law pays everything. And I would never ask her to go beyond what she's already doing. It's just not fair.
No, wait a minute. You practice family planning on your phone?
Yeah, we do. She tells me when she last ovulated, and I tell my brother whether or not he can have sex or not.
There you go.
And then when I'm in town visiting, I tell him that he can't because she's ovulating, and I have sex with her myself.
I wouldn't know what that stuff is anymore. Jesus Christ. The last time I had sex with anyone was, I think, 2009?
Well, that's pretty recent.
Yeah, by some standards.
By my standards, it's like, wow. Yeah, it's like yesterday.
that is something that I think I think I thought someone was saying it's like as a trans woman they were just going to put like data into what are those apps called? The period tracking apps, just to throw potential investigators off.
Okay.
Which seems, I don't know what their thought was behind that, but
Could you repeat and explain what the hell that is?
What, a period tracking app?
Yeah.
it's what it sounds like.
It's a calendar. Yeah.
How would they track trans people with it?
No, not to track trans people, but it was to feed it false data. Make it harder to shift through.
Allegedly, you could use
I
the
get it.
period trackers to figure out who's likely to get an abortion.
Okay, yeah, that I get. I just didn't understand the trans part of it. Yeah, the Republicans sure are showing their cards nowadays, aren't they?
I mean, I don't know why they were focusing on. Sorry. Oh, Diana has people in the background. I think I'm talking over them, and they're just not in the conversation.
Do you want me? Should we need to mute Diana there?
Yeah, hang on. It's starting to get noisy in here again. Let me mute.
All right.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I was just going to comment. The Republicans are really showing their cards nowadays between, the tracker apps for women in periods and the hookup with abortion. Their demands from in several states, 19 different states, that have demanded that all hospitals have to turn over any records they have about trans people.
Vanderbilt.
For what purpose? You tell me why you're doing that.
Vanderbilt University actually did that, and I think they're facing a HIPAA lawsuit now.
Yeah.
Because they didn't let any. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just going to say I heard that, but I didn't hear the details.
Later.
Because they didn't let anyone know they did that until after it happened.
Oh, that's even worse than asking. It's so creepy. Why do the Republicans want that? And the only thing I can think of is they want to create a list so they can monitor people, so they can fuck up your life somehow, if not put us into camps.
Though I do kind of like that idea of feeding those apps as false data. I might just have to download a period app myself and do that.
There's a couple of states have call-in lines where you call in if you suspect somebody's going to get an abortion, and report it anonymously. And people have done a DOS on those and just had robocalls like crazy until they jam up their system.
My favorite one was Missouri tried the reporting form and people just spammed the B-movie script at it.
Yeah. I think it was Missouri.
Hey, it's just a few lines of code to keep going to these browsers. Run them in the background, or keep reloading it, and I'm not saying you should do this.
Just talk to the people like what's his name on Twitch or whatever, who makes all these calls and tracks down and fucks around with the nasty people in India making the calls to begin with.
You don't even need to do anything that complicated. You just need to tie up their system resources.
Oh yeah, Ivy, you're absolutely absolutely correct.
Ivy, the U.S. actually is a fascist regime anymore.
Well, the problem is that the Democrats don't really have good answers, and the Republicans are offering an easy scapegoat.
Except the reality is that the Democrats do have answers, and they are doing them, and the Republicans are taking credit for it. That's why Biden set up the situation that now, with all the projects that are being funded under the new infrastructure plan, that they all have a sign next to them that says, this came out of the infrastructure bill passed in such a year, with Joe Biden as president, because the Republicans who fought against that bill and tried to keep it from becoming law, are not saying, "Oh yeah, that we did that." No, you didn't. You fought it. You can't get around that, dude. And then so people listen to the media, and the media doesn't report all the things that Biden does, and they think that he's done nothing, and it's just not true. There are pages of things that they've accomplished already.
That's not. The problem is we each have filter bubbles tailored to us individually because that's just the way social media algorithms work.
Yeah.
Musk is trying to make sure that instead of our echo bubbles being only left wing, that they're increasingly right wing.
Mm-hmm.
What we need is
I've got an unbelievable number of right wingers on my feed that I never used to see.
well, Musk is not a genius, so.
Oh no,
he's not.
definitely not. And I can, yeah, accuse the opposition of the crimes we commit.
But we also have a. Sorry.
And then the other one is, tell a lie often enough and loudly enough, and people will believe it.
Joseph Goebbels.
I also think a large element of this is what's known as troll shielding, or a similar idea.
Explain.
Where, especially the groomer accusation, since more people than we would like to admit on all sides are probably guilty of something like that. It's not a large percentage, but if they denounce these people they don't like, they think it takes attention away from them. It's like the homophobes who virulently deny they're anti-gay and then get caught with a gay prostitute.
Mm-hmm. There have been more Republican senators caught in bathrooms involved in, I'm going to say illicit because it's slightly kinky or illegal, sex in bathrooms than anybody accosted in any bathroom anywhere by trans people.
Kind of like what's going on with Crowder recently, of how people who used to work for him have been coming out and saying how he's been showing his dick to everybody during the workplace.
Oh, I didn't hear that. That's wonderful.
Oh, you didn't hear about? I posted a link in the DM groups and that.
I don't understand Crowder's appeal. Conservatives can be funny.
Well, apparently he's losing his appeal.
But Crowder never was.
No, he wasn't. Still isn't.
I mean, Larry the Cable Guy was funny. Ron White, funny.
There's
so many of those media and social media people that are just Republicans that are just so absolutely distasteful human beings in everything they say and do, whether they believe it or not. The fact that they do it on the air makes them guilty of it. They did. You do that shit on the air. You don't have a private life. This is who you are. Okay, because good people don't do that. Ben Shapiro. I mean, he's racist. He's sexist. He's
oddly anti-Semitic at points.
Anti-Semite, even though he's Jewish. Him and Joe Rogan is an absolute lunatic. Crowder.
I'd be okay with Joe Rogan if Spotify would force a fact checker on him before he airs.
Rogan can be kind of all over the place politically. Depends on who's in the room with him.
Like when he was shouting down that primatologist who had a PhD when she was just trying to correct him.
I'm not familiar with that one. Could you detail?
Not well.
Okay, that's all right.
I can see if I can find the clip.
I didn't know he got in trouble with the right with seeing, as he was saying, the whole thing with the Bud Light thing was a lot of nonsense.
Hmm.
The whole Bud Light thing was.
Oh, it's so funny. All these idiots thinking that they're doing something good for a boycott because they went and bought a 12-pack and then shoot it up. It's like, dude, they got your money. That's all they want.
It gets better. Where they started switching brands, and it turns out the other brand that they switched to was also owned by the same company.
Yeah, this African company owns almost all the beers in the fucking world. And then they carry through then other products too. They're this is gay. This is gay. Things like that are close to their heart, like their pickup truck. It's just such a riot. They're so ignorant and blind.
I think we need to start replacing the large flag on the coal rollers that says Trump 2024 with one that says Trump lost. Just the same style.
Oh, those are out there. I like the one that says Trump 2024, except there's a hyphen in there. And the caption below is yeah, that sounds like an adequate sentence.
Here, find the beginning of this thing.
Anyway, I put a link in chat about Joe Rogan and the primatologist calling in. I would love to say it was Gutsick Gibbon, but it was not.
Crowder held another meeting on July 27th where he downplayed sexual misconduct allegation in his first reported by the Post in May. This is the New York Post I'm reading from. That included him sending photos of his genitals to subordinates and regularly exposing himself from the workplace. And they have in quotes, "If you're not okay with if guys playing sack tap, then this isn't the place for you," Crowder reportedly he said at the meeting, referring to hitting another person's genitals.
God, who do these people think they are? I don't care if it's a private company. There are still things that you cannot do. They're just so fucked.
Steve's increasing justification of his workplace sexual behavior between men and makes a lot of male employees uncomfortable. Well, he always said it's joking, but it doesn't seem like they could joke to anyone anymore. In the quotes as well.
Is his marriage still on the rocks?
Yeah, I believe he's getting divorced.
Well, maybe he and Matt Walsh can make a happy couple.
Oh God, you had to bring that name up. What a boy! Talk about somebody who I'd like to buy a particularly shaped thing of lead, but.
Yeah, what was the way?
That man does not have any more credentials than I do. I've had a few years of college, and except I happen to spend the last 40 years studying and learning about trans science, and he hasn't. But our actual on-paper credibility is no different. He can't say half the shit he does. He makes this up. It's just complete lies, and I know it because I have studied trans for the last 40-some years.
But he knows people are going to look it up. I mean, I hate to say it, but how often do any of us look up the information in an R and Raw video?
You got a point. Actually, I do usually get around to it. But then again, I kind of have an unusual interest in evolution, so.
I have improved. You're right. I was guilty of that myself, but I have been deliberately trying to improve on that, and I take the time to read stuff. I don't believe headlines anymore.
I have to worry about other streams of information right now that aren't evolution related. And, you know, I mean, I trust him. It's just, I don't know if that was the best example.
No, it was a good
Because
example. I think it was a good example.
I can point Arn Ra getting things wrong, but they aren't in Arn Ra's field.
Yeah, he's not a genius. He doesn't know everything absolutely 100% correct. You know, I've heard lots of people, you know, say, well, overall your message was right, but these details were absolutely screwed. You know, that sort of thing.
Atheists will call each other out for that too, though.
Yeah. Yeah, and nobody's perfect.
And so, to some degree, I'd have to say that's actually a problem on the left, because we tend to be maybe overcritical on things at times like that, to where we'll start outing each other, you know, pushing each other out of our own groups just because, well, you believe X, Y, Z. Oh, well, you don't believe this last thing. Oh, well, you're out.
I want people to start picking up on my spelling of the Republican Nazi Party as Republican with a Q instead of a C, a capital Q instead of a C, and Nazi at the end of their end when they CAN or QAN AZI.
That's too much work.
It flows together pretty well, actually.
You just need to like make one little small change that just will irk them, but not make people put too much effort in it. That's the type of thing people will pick up on.
Yeah, but you do it a few times. You spell it correctly a few times, and it usually gets absorbed into your spell check. Is in mine.
Because I know a lot of people start spelling Republican with a capital Q now. Which is not the entire party, but enough of it.
No, it is the entire party. If their leadership is taking you down this road, then you're part of the problem. It's like, what do you have if you have 10 cops or 11 cops sitting at a table, 10 of them have committed a crime of violence against somebody, and one hasn't, but hasn't said anything. How many bad cops do you have? You have 11, not 10. You're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem.
Not big on the binary thinking, but
Well, I don't know about that because sometimes there is no safe, I hate that word, but no safe way to implement a solution. You've got to stay out of sight. So you're not part of the solution, but you're still trying to not be part of the problem.
Yeah, I understand it, and I agree with it. Yeah, there's certain times the wisdom of a campaign or an effort is to keep quiet, is to let the other people hang themselves. But sometimes it's not.
I think a lot of people on the what used to be the mainstream Republican Party, the establishment, realize that Trump is an aberration. And the people who are acting the most like Trump are not doing well.
One thing that happened though,
Well,
in the
other than
background
Trump, but
with the Trump era is that some extremely wealthy people and organizations, or wealthy people made certain organizations very, very wealthy, and they're able to do all sorts of really bad stuff in the background that never hits the press. Moms for Liberty for one, the Heritage Foundation for another.
Yeah.
Focus on families, family research council. They're terrible, horrible people, and they're writing all these anti-LGBT laws and giving them to politicians to introduce and pass as is. You know, we've lost our government in some respect.
Not in some respects. They pretty much entirely lost it in many areas. I mean, anything south of the Mason-Dixon line, you can just forget, for example.
Technically, I'm south of the Mason-Dixon line where it would extend right here. I mean, I would say all of Indiana falls into that category right now, but with the exception of a few pockets like Bloomington.
Well, that's very typical that it's the cities that are perfectly rational. You know, we have that out here. Rochester is an incredibly liberal place surrounded by red.
Gary is lost.
La Crosse is a very independent, blue place, except for us surrounded by red.
Gary is lost for different reasons, and Terre Haute is weird. Because it's slightly red, but it's also like the home of Eugene V. Debs.
Mm-hmm.
When he was here. Well, we do need to pass laws to limit probably the age. Maybe not the age, but have Congress and other politicians pass fitness tests if they want to stay in office.
Except you've got this Constitution that says you can't do that.
Well, then we implement term.
Yeah, setting the standards by which you make those decisions is tough.
Well, we do have something like that for the president in the 25th Amendment.
And you see how well that worked.
Only in terms of their capacity to continue their job, not whether or not they can get elected.
Yeah.
Because Trump could go to prison and be elected.
Well, there's one law that he passed, and if he's convicted on that law, which I don't think he will be because it's a judge he appointed in Florida, because it was about hoarding documents.
Yeah, the 14th Amendment says you cannot hold office if you commit certain felonies.
But yes, the person I was mentioning earlier did run for president from prison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the things Debs is known about. Oh yeah, Ivy, you're talking about Dianne Feinstein, or what her name is? Yeah, she's gone. She's got to not be there anymore. I'm sure that her commitment to the Democratic Party and her machine behind her, that is probably moving her mouth for her.
Are we talking about Feinstein?
Yeah, are loyal enough that they want to make sure that whatever move they make guarantees that the Senate seat is still going to be Democratic.
Well,
California and all.
It probably is, given her district, but
and Mitch McConnell is definitely way, way overdue to not be there anymore.
I believe there are 27, Ivy. The last one is that congressmen cannot vote themselves a pay raise midterm.
Yes,
right.
That is correct. That one hasn't been allowed for a long time.
Yeah, there are 27 right now.
Ideally, the 28th should be the abolition of the Electoral College for presidential elections.
Yeah, you're unlikely to see that anytime within our lifetimes anyway. Certainly not within mine.
And there's one amendment that just repeals another one.
18 and 19?
Oh, the Prohibition amendments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the 18th and 21st.
I remember the 18th. I couldn't remember the other one. 21. Okay.
Because there's a liquor store chain here called the 21st Amendment.
Okay.
Good name.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, there is a prime example of a bad use for constitutional amendments.
Well, oh yeah, absolutely. And same goes with state constitutions. I mean, Ohio, I'm glad that they're going to be able to do it the way it was intended with 50% of the vote. But boy, you can get some real frivolous shit going with that.
Well, I think it's interesting that West Virginia prevented its populace from voting on an anti-abortion law.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you recall how they did that?
Not exactly, because I'm not from West Virginia. Or do I live there? I went through there once on my way to Pennsylvania.
Ivy, when we have our election and the general population makes their vote, those votes are divided up according to how the state decides they should be divided up with people who are called electors. Each political party has people who are designated as electors for their party, and they get to send as many to the state convention or meeting for based on the votes and who got what percentage. Some states do it as an all or nothing. That if you won the popular, you get every vote from the state for the electoral votes. Electoral votes are based on the population of the state. So if you got a state like California, they've got a whole bunch of electoral votes. Florida has a whole bunch of electoral votes. Wyoming has a couple. Alaska, I think, is 2 because they just don't have the population. But that makes an inequity where the intolerance of the minority or minority rule can be created by the Electoral College.
Well, that was the entire intent of the Electoral College. The smaller southern states wanted a larger voice, so they could have what they wanted at the time.
Mm-hmm.
The ownership of human beings, and it just sort of bled over.
And so that part of our voting was instilled in the original Constitution. It's not even an amendment; it's one of the original Bill of Rights.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a problematic. It's problematic. Maybe it worked fine before, but it doesn't now. I mean, for the last several elections where Republicans were put in, including Trump in 2016, they lost the popular vote, but they won the popular vote in enough states with enough electoral votes to win the contest.
And this is why the Electoral College is going to survive for quite a while yet, because there are enough people who benefit from it that they're going to fight to have it stay.
From the
I've been saying personally, and I know a lot of people have been saying for the last 50 years that the Electoral College has got to go. And I was saying that when I was in high school. And next year it'll be 50 years since I graduated.
No, Ivy, it's not you. I would bet damn near every Democrat on earth believes the Electoral College should be flushed down the toilet, and Republicans think it should be if they lose.
What's that British thing? Some of them seem to like Marmite or something like that. Vegemite.
Marmite. Is it Marmite?
I think it's Marmite.
Yeah, Vegemite is in Australia.
See, if you're British, you have to explain Marmite to people who aren't British.
Okay, yeah.
Oh.
But more people would understand what it is if you called it what it is. Because Marmite is just brewer's yeast, isn't it?
I have no idea.
I thought it was the scrapings from the bottom of the barrel. I don't know.
My parents used to have me eat a spoonful of brewer's yeast.
Listen, I just want everyone to know that linear algebra was invented by mathematicians in 1925 to sell more matrices.
Huh? What? Many words not understood. What?
It seemed just about as coherent as where I was going.
Oh, okay. I'm just such a math dummy. It's real easy to fool me with math. Because I'm just a girl.
It's. Oh, jeez.
Oh, wow. When I began my transition, I achieved a rude awakening in the way I was treated, especially at stores like Lowe's or Home Depot.
Yeah.
Because you go in there, you used to be able to talk to the salespeople, and now you can't because you got these bumps on your chest.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like I go into Best Buy and I'm talking. It's like I went in the Best Buy with a guy and it's like I said something and they look at the guy. It's like, and he was like, "No, she's the expert."
It's like me when I walk into the auto parts store, and they question you ask me 3 times what year model was that, little lady? You know. Well, no, it doesn't matter because the production it was this, and the production date of that was that, and it's an interchangeable part, so it doesn't matter. Just give me that number of part. Screw your production date information. You don't need it. Well, you don't know what we need. Yes, I do.
Well, I mean, the salesmen probably don't know because the staff only knows what they need to know to sell the product.
Yeah, that's true.
Wait a minute. I've got to achieve a decent arrangement here because I'm hurting.
Oh.
And why is that? It's allegedly the same tablet that I had last night, but today it's not working. I sometimes wonder what's happening here.
How is it not working?
Say again?
How is it not working?
Because I'm still hurting like crazy.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Not the type of tablet I'm thinking of.
Yeah, no. Allegedly, I got another hydromorphone tablet today, and I sometimes wonder if they occasionally dispense placebos.
No, that's illegal.
Yeah, well, a lot of things are illegal, but a lot of people still do whatever they want to do.
Sorry, it's illegal. They don't do that.
Well, we can start wrapping things up here. We've already gone past a little bit past 2 hours here.
Oh no.
Yeah, we have. Isn't that amazing? Oh my. Oh, look at that. On their studio grocery store, they even have the toys that you get on the end caps.
So, we start with you, Diana.
Yes, dear.
What do you got going?
Well, I'm going to try to be on air on Sunday. As I say, this past Sunday, I wasn't able to get on air because the Wi-Fi system that they've got going at the house doesn't work worth poo-poo, although they insist it does. So, I don't know. I'm wondering, well, no, I'm not going to be able to do anything this week. I might want to try to start Wednesday shows again, but I'll work on that. See what happens. But Sunday, I'm definitely going to try to be on noon. Get everybody together and live from New York and Vermont and Florida. I know it's lame, but what can I say?
Hey, go with it.
Yeah, why not? Do the old. I'm trying to remember. That was Saturday Night Live that did that, wasn't it? Live from New York.
Yep.
It was Saturday night.
Yep.
I think they still do, don't they?
Yep.
I don't know.
Oh my! But
they might be
really
doing it now that
to.
Trump is in such trouble.
Say again.
Saturday Night Live might be good again now that Trump is in such trouble.
Yeah, there you go.
I haven't seen anything on NBC or CBS for 6 years now because I can't receive those stations down in the valley here.
Oh,
Oh
you can-
my.
I think you can get the live NBC feed through Peacock, but I'm not entirely sure. But you only have a data connection.
Yeah, and I don't have that kind of service because I can't afford it, and that's why I receive error signals.
Yeah, Peacock is free, but for some stuff.
Yeah, I've considered buying a television, but then again, I really can't receive anything over the air. Or anything that's worth anything anyway. And I certainly am not going to pay for call it cable because I don't watch enough of this stuff.
Well, I can pick up a few of the local channels, which I keep for the weather.
Okay.
Of course, you can also get that on a radio, but
And online.
Well, it's for some weather situations. It's nice to have a backup.
Yeah, I have a radio that tunes to the weather station as well, just for a backup.
Because my phone will send out warnings for dire emergencies.
So, Porpoise, what do you have going?
Not really much. I've been toying around with some ideas, but until I can figure out how to implement them and be entertaining with them, which is the other thing, I won't be doing much. But remember, be excellent to each other. And so long, and thanks for all the fish.
Jenny?
On Friday, it's supposedly actually going to happen this time. I know I've been saying this for a while. I will be on Christy Santiago's show, Leah, Leah, the League of Extraordinary Atheist Humanists. And we'll be talking about some of the highly unethical political and spiritual things that are going down in the right wing, and how badly they're absolutely screwing up society and those sorts of things. So we'll be talking about. I don't know if it's a call-in show or not, but I do believe that it's going to be a live show. So there's chat. Just look up Leah, L.E.A.H. And take Christy Santiago, traditional spelling, and you might be able to find it. I wish I had a link to give it to you.
I'm not sure if I can look that up real quick, though. But well, I just released my latest garden tour here today, which took me a while to get that out since I had other things I had to get done this past week. Rough times, and I'll probably be on Diana's show coming. Assuming
I would hope you would be.
Assuming she's able to stream.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. It's driving me nuts. Well, to drive me nuts, you got to put me in reverse, but that's beside the point.
Yeah. Well, just keep going. You eventually come back around to nuts.
Oh man,
there's not a chance that my nuts can come back. I think the doctor ate them.
Well, you gotta do something with them.
Yeah, that's true. I told them I wanted them in a jar, but they wouldn't let me do that.
That's surprising.
Well, they said actually they could, but you had to plan for that in advance. And I did not know that.
All right. Well, I guess we'll be signing off then. Goodbye, everybody.
Well, take care, all.
Good afternoon, chat. Love you guys very much. You are why we do this.
Yay!
Yep.
Don't get caught.
All kinds of good stuff.